Alright, how's it going everybody? Today we're going to be doing another Nomad Survival class guide, and we are going to be doing the Quickling on this one. The Quickling is definitely one of the most unique characters in this game. Yeah, it's definitely different. Like always, from left to right, the SP cost goes up. So the Quickling is 600 SP for its weapon skill, and his weapon skill is called Speed Unlimited. And what that does is you transform into this, I'll call it like a light blue, kind of white light, and you move extremely quick, and you damage enemies as you hit them. And you take 75% less damage, and you leave behind a damaging wake. So there's like a little trail behind you that deals damage. And as you hit level 20 and level 40, it just increases the duration. So this whole 75% less damage thing right here, absolutely insane. For the Quickling, excuse me, Nomad, again, always a good time. I give it an 8 to 10 in every single class. The Berserker, you will not be doing the Berserker at all. There's absolutely no possible way you could do this, because the Quickling revolves around hitting its enemies, and you have to take damage to do that. So the Berserker, I'm giving a 0. You cannot pick the Berserker and play Quickling. It just is not possible. Excuse me. Unless you want to just not use your ability, and you want to use the Quickling's ability to like run away, which I guess totally viable. Do not pick the Berserker. Poxbringer's all right. The fact that you deal damage over time is kind of annoying, but you're not really like one-shotting anything as you run through them. So the Poxbringer is actually a pretty all right pick. I'd give it a 6. The Voidwalker is my particular favorite, because this makes it to where, regardless of if you're in the weapon skill or not, it's very hard to hit you, and you're always dealing damage. So I think the Voidwalker is almost like tailor-made for the Quickling. The funny thing is, it's like you're playing like Need for Speed, because of how not hard it is to move and like change directions, but just you're like never going, say like you move up and then you walk left, right? Normally you just start immediately going to the left. Whereas when you have Voidwalker, it's like you're drifting, so you're more of an arc, and the Quickling just like doubles how bad that is. But the Voidwalker is very, very strong. Summoner, again, I never see a reason to go Summoner outside of like with the Necromancer for fun. I would give it a 2. And the Merchant, I don't really think you'd ever want to go the Merchant for the Quickling. It kind of defeats the purpose, because with the Quickling, for me anyways, revolves around passives. So having this Merchant, all of the effects only really benefit weapon skills. So since you're not going weapon skills, it's not really that important. So I'm going to go Voidwalker and do double experience. I'm going to stand still. This is its ability. When that ability is going, you can't take 100% damage. You only take 25%. So it's very strong. And like I was saying with the Voidwalker, you can't take damage, at least to the early mobs. Eventually you do, but the early mobs won't be able to damage you. So with the Quickling, you could obviously play this a different way, but what I like to do is max out defense. I have another guide on here. I play the Quickling on Dry Marsh, the first map, and I went speed because I wanted to see how quickly I could move across the map, basically. So I went full speed, and I went full tank. And if you go tank with the Quickling, so you take your armor, you take your HP regen, all that good stuff, you cannot take damage. It is absurd. So you want to make sure you grab max HP, you want to grab HP regen, you want to make sure your SP regen is up very high, and then you want to take the armor. And between all of those things, you just like will not take any damage, and on the off chance that you do take damage, you'll regen it back so quickly. So that is particularly how I like to play this. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. The Quickling has really good single target damage. Its bossing is very strong. So you don't have to worry too much about getting, you know, other abilities to deal damage to the boss, which you obviously totally can. If you want to grab like whatever skill you enjoy playing, grab it 100%. This is just what I think is the most optimal for the Quickling. It is though 100% way less exciting than most other things. So I can totally understand if you don't want to do that. I shouldn't have picked up this Icicle Barrage. That was actually a poor choice on my side. And then I'm grabbing Colorless Glyph because it's just free extra damage. So especially when you're not moving and you're playing like this, that's very, very helpful. But yeah, it's like, as you can see, things aren't even touching me right now. The early levels are very, very simple for this class. You don't have to really worry too much about anything because nothing can really damage you anyways. I like Ascension. Ascension's always good. I'll always pick it up if I can. But I'm mostly looking for the tank abilities, which seem to not be popping up right now, I gotta say. The +1 defense, that might not seem like a lot. That is a lot, I promise you. This is so misleading because it says 1. It's really like, think about a tank in an MMORPG, right? You put points into Vitality, for example, for HP. And, you know, when you put in 1 point for Vitality, it's not like you get 1 bonus HP. You get some percent, whatever that percent is, you know, that's set up by the game designers. So don't just think because it says, oh, +1, you know, it's not going to be a lot. That's actually a significant amount. I promise you. It's like, I'm only going to go to the first boss on this one, but if you want to see what the Quickling can do when you get all of those tank abilities, I mean, because these are just the first mob, so I feel like it's unfair to say that, like, oh, every single mob doesn't damage me. I will eventually get damaged. That's for sure. I'm gonna go get all this extra experience and good stuff over here. Wow, I must have got... That must have been a huge EXP drop right there. Alright, back to the center. Oh, I took a -1 right there. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. But yeah, so it's wow. You also killed relics. So this is another bonus for the Quickling. For the crystallized chests and the portals. And the bosses, honestly. The single target for the Quickling is insane. You do a lot of damage over time very quickly. I would always recommend it. And I should have taken the rerolls right there, but I didn't because I'm a dummy. But yeah, the Quickling does fantastic single target damage. So you're always able to get those chests down really quickly. Because I know sometimes, at least for me, especially early on when I was beginning to play the game, the chests, you know, they seem so important, but it was hard to kind of kill them. So this way, you just, you know, go in, you take care of them really quickly, and you're able to get back to whatever you're doing. Because sometimes it does put you in some shitty situations. Especially if you're like playing the adventure, you don't have any of the store bonuses, like you don't have any of the store upgrades, because you just started playing the game. And you know your HP regen, your skills and all that might not be as good. Because I have actually all of the unlocks outside of 2, which are They all cost like 60 grand. It's for the free rerolls for the relic chests and then the invocation bonuses. But yeah, if you want to see what it looks like when you have like max out armor, max out HP regen and stuff like that, you can go and take a look at my dry marsh run. Yeah, so that was the boss right there. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. It died instantaneously. And that wasn't even like a whole activation of my ability, so... Oh, that was insane. Yeah, it just died, it did a little bit of damage, and I'm already back at full HP. So, as you can see, in my opinion, tank is the best way to build the Quickling because it directly plays with its weapon skill. The fact that you take 75% reduced damage is huge, and in that time, you can always be regenning HP, and as you get HP regen to max, as you get Ascension, things like that, your HP regen is insane. And if you want to throw on the fact with max HP as well as the character size, so there's a passive that decreases your player model and makes you have a higher evasion rating, so you're less likely to get hit. If you put all these things together, and the armor, you just can't die. And the Quickling's weapon skill does more than enough damage, and you can pick up things like Colorless Glyph. Colorless Glyph is great for the Quickling because if you stand still, all of the mobs are going to come to you anyways, and you're just going to be dealing constant damage. So you could play around getting a relic for the Colorless Glyph. That does insane damage. If you go watch my Dancing Dagger Colorless Glyph guide. No, it was Magic Missile, sorry. Magic Missile Colorless Glyph. You'll see that Colorless Glyph does, I think I hit like 38 million damage in one game. And that was with me not even getting it very early on. You can use that to take care of everything. Because the Quickling, I mean, it takes care of portals and chests very quickly. It takes care of bosses very quickly. All you need to do is make sure you survive. So by using the Voidwalker Heritage, which makes it a lot harder for you to get hit, and then you throw in all of these tank stats, you're basically unkillable. So for me, that would be the best way to play the Quickling. If you guys want to throw in weapon skills or different passives, by all means do it. It's the best thing about Nomad survivals. You can do whatever you want. So Quickling, I'm going to give it, when you go tank build, an 8. I think it's amazing. So if you guys like the guide, if you like the video, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. And I just have one more video to do for these class guides. So I'll pop that out and I will see you guys on the next one.